When the soul of a man is born in this country, there are nets flung at it to hold it back from flight.
Hi there. My name is Bradley Schaefer, and the book that I believe should be in the literary canon is a portrait of the artist as a young man. It's about the life of Stephen Dedalus, as it starts when he was a toddler and ends when he is in university. It shows how he developed his own conceptualization of morality and overcame the religion that was being forced onto him. This book was made in the 1900s, but is very relevant today because of the story it tells. A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man is part of the postmodernism stream of consciousness literary movement. The website Literary Movement describes postmodernism to be literature which is marked both stylistically and ideologically by a reliance on such literary conventions as fragmentation, paradox, unreliable narrators, often unrealistic and downright impossible plots, games, parody, paranoia, dark humor, and authorial self-reference. James Joyce definitely does this in his novel, and it actually helped him describe Stephen's life, as it was strange some days. However, most of the book was very realistic, and I could see happening. Lit Charts wrote a page on stream of consciousness, saying that stream of consciousness writing allows readers to listen in on a character's thoughts. Stream of consciousness also makes use of associative thoughts. In this style of writing, writers transition between ideas using loose connections that are often based on a character's personal experiences and memories. Overall, I felt like this was a very interesting point of view readers get to have. It is very unique and made finding the underlying messages much easier and a great way to portray what the author wanted to say. But besides what literary movement this is in, why should you read the book? Well, I believe every single person can relate to the main character, Stephen Dedalus, in one way or another. The book starts by depicting a kid that thinks everything he is told is true, which is evident in our world today and will be forever. Then there's a turning point in Stephen's life, where he realizes that some things that the adults and authorities are telling him just aren't true. Why should he have to believe them? It's like that moment in our lives when we realize that some questions and opinions don't have a right answer, so we can argue and debate our own stances. I will often explain it like in math class, 1 plus 1 equals 2, but in English class, 1 plus 1 can equal 1,000, 1,000,000, 5,000, 642, -7. The possibilities are literally endless. When Stephen figures this out, he stops worrying and regretting his past and could look to the future and predict better days ahead. One of Stephen's biggest moments of clarity was when he was in college. In a debate with one of his close friends, he states, "I will not serve that in which I no longer believe, whether it called myself my home, my fatherland, or my church. And I will try to express myself in some mode or life or art as freely as I can and as wholly as I can." Stephen was stepping out and saying that he is done with the things and people that wanted him to be a certain person or do certain things. He is done trying to please those who have no power over him. It's his declaration, and it's amazing to see. Personally, as I read this novel, I didn't know what to think at first. Then one day, when I was reading, it all clicked. I thought back to when this book was made, in the 1900s, and put together that back then, when you were an outlier in a community, you were made fun of and picked on a lot. It took Stephen so long to state his own opinion because it was not easy in that day. He finally came to a point where he had so much evidence and points to prove that what he was saying made sense. Even in an argument with the dean of his college, the dean couldn't conceptualize what Stephen's theory was. Not because it was bad, it was just because it was so different and so intricate than all the other ones that were being stated before him. And I, as a reader, was able to see how it was formed. Nowadays, I know in Canada at least, I feel like for the most part, uniqueness is celebrated and difference is accepted. It is very interesting to read about all the things Stephen had to endure personally that I never had to because of the leaps and bounds our society has made. It gives a whole new point of view. Furthermore, why should this book be in the literary canon? It's relatable and has a strong message. In a day and age where we as a whole are getting rid of stereotypes and things from the past, we can read about a person who wanted to do this but kept being held back by the people around him. The quote that you heard from the beginning of the video is Stephen theoreticizing and saying, "When the soul of a man is born in this country, there are nets flung at it to hold it back from flight. You talk to me of nationality, language, religion. I shall try to fly by those nets." Stephen is struggling, and rightfully so. In his childhood, his parents' home, or at his Catholic school, they were basically suppressing his thoughts in an almost inhumane way. But Stephen knew there was something beyond what they were telling him. He goes off to college and finds that he can have his own opinion, and some will even respect him for it. But even if they don't, and they laugh and mock, at least he can finally accept himself. It took him nearly 18 years to do this, and for Stephen, it's like he unlocked the door to a different universe of possibilities. Stephen has finally felt freedom. It teaches us that we don't have to listen to what other people around us are saying. If we believe in something so wholeheartedly and understand that it is correct and can defend that stance, then why not go astray from the flock? It's 2020, and I feel like humanity has made leaps and bounds in the right direction, but there's still some things that we need to get better at and overcome. Maybe they haven't even been discovered yet, and I don't want to list any because I don't want to stop your thinking from going beyond this. But to end my video, I want to say that A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man speaks about Stephen's life, a life that should never be forgotten because it was so inspirational and different from everyone around him. It shows us, our parents, our siblings, and our grandparents that we don't need to confine our thinking for others around us. We can choose to believe anything we believe in. We shall try to fly by those nets that hold us back. Thank you.